so much has happened this year.
Oh, it was vicious.
It messed up everything.
If life is gonna do one thing, it's gotta change. Wait, this isn't the same glass as yours. Wait, oh.
That is so funny. Is it like fluted?
But this one, I have ones exactly like that from the same set. This is like little
Oh, I see.
bubbles, I guess,
but it has like the little.
it has the same. And Tim got a whole set of these, and we have one. Well, a couple exactly like that. So
we just have.
We got the memo.
Exquisite taste in drinkware.
We do, and I love how both of us chose to drink water, as we discussed so thoroughly in the last episode. How much we love to drink water.
Yes, absolutely.
Need to stay hydrated.
Yes, as I was telling you, I just woke up from a little nap from my busy day. When I wake up from a nap, I'm thirsty.
You're like,
I'm like,
we're slurping.
Water, please.
The SpongeBob meme. Water.
Yeah. That is me. Every waking moment, that is me.
Well, need some water.
All right, cutie girl. How's your day been? What's been going on today?
Oh, it's been busy. You know what? I have had a whirlwind of a weekend since we recorded our last episode. Because we recorded our last episode on a Friday.
Right.
It's currently Wednesday. And I feel like what are the days of the week? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday were just chaotic energy. And here we are. I'm ready to reset and to turn it around. And I'm very excited to go into the weekend and just rejuvenate.
Yes. When you had texted me and you were like, girl, we're ready to record tonight, I was like, it's Wednesday? Like, what? Oh my gosh. It's flying by. This whole summer is flying by. I cannot believe it. But yeah, no, I couldn't believe it was already Wednesday. I forgot. Derek asked me what day it was a couple times today, and I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. Don't ask me that. I don't know what today is.
And all the days sort of blurred together. Yeah. I mean, I've said this before, but in my mind, it's still March. So I don't know how it's August tomorrow. When our friends are listening, it's not going to be August. But guys, when we're recording this, it's July 31st.
Yes. And we cannot believe.
Blows my mind.
I can't. So much has happened this year. I have been filling up the little proud of me jar with lots of little things. I cannot wait to read it at the end of the year. I'm gonna sob. We should do that one episode.
Yeah, we should. I was just about to say we need to open them at the end of the year together on the podcast.
Yeah,
we read our little proudest jars.
That would be so cute.
And so wholesome.
We should.
We'll have hot cocoa because it'll be December, and we'll open our little jars. I'm like, I'm proud of myself for it, and I'm proud of myself for it.
Yes,
you guys will love it.
They'll eat it up. You guys will eat that up, and then you guys will have the tradition of proud of me jars. I swear, I've been bragging about it all year this year. So to kind of give a little backstory about the proud of me jar is that I saw somebody on Instagram give these out at an event she was hosting. She literally gave everybody the cutest glass jar. Hers was so chic and upscale. I found what I could in the Target dollar section.
They're precious.
They're quite cute still. But at our event, in January, we gave them out to all of our attendees, and we each got one as well. And basically, it's a jar with a little post it note sticky. And every time you have a moment where you feel proud of yourself, you either write it down, fold it up, and throw it in there. And you just don't look at it till the end of the year. And it helps you appreciate and be like really grateful for your year because like we just said, this year goes by so quickly. You don't know what's going on, and then you get to the end of the year, and then you're trying to make New Year's resolutions or you're trying to make goals and stuff, and you're like, and I didn't even do anything this year, and you get overwhelmed, and you're it's just like a way to remind yourself, one, to be grateful, number one, and number two, like it's to give yourself grace and see like all the amazing things you did do this year. So I cannot wait to read my Proud of Me jar slips. That is going to be so
Give
fun.
yourself time to pause, give yourself time to reflect, really,
Mm-hmm.
because, yeah, it's been a couple months since I put anything in there. I'm pretty sure the last thing I put in there is when we got our kitten back in May, and I
Okay.
surprised Tim with a kitten. So I have a couple things that I need to add in there, such as starting to record said podcast and things like that.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, and now I'm just thinking about August and just August for me is going to be a sit down and work month to get some goals done. It's also going to be a no spend budget month because of this past weekend and because of particular goals in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just tell you very quickly about the unfortunate events that happened to me on Friday.
Let me hear it.
Okay.
Let me hear it.
So, Friday morning, we recorded our podcast episode.
Mm.
Loved it. Was on a high. Love it. Me and my good friend Marissa, who Niara is very familiar with, that is my girl, that is my sister,
Yes, we
that
love
is
her.
my boo. We went into Philly to get little ear piercings, which I got your little ear piercing. I don't know
Cute.
if you can see it on the screen. It's the top one.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
That one's new.
She's cute.
If you are an audio only listener, I got a rook piercing. If you want to see exactly what it looks like, you can look up rook piercing. Um, so yeah, so we're like bopping around South Street. That's where I go and get my piercings. We got a little bit of lunch. We went to some vintage stores. We went and got the piercing. We were gone just under 3 hours, but we had a 3 hour parking spot. So we're like, okay, cool, we're good. You can sort of tell where the story is
I
going when
can.
I went to the parking spot. I walk over to where we parked the car, and in the spot where my car was parked is not my car, but someone else's car.
If you've ever
My
been to
car,
Philly, any listeners, you have to know the drama.
you know,
You have to know the drama of Philly parking.
you know the tea. And so I'm standing there and I'm like, this has never happened to me before. So I am actually relatively newer to driving. I am 30 years old and I got my license when I was 25. And so I haven't driven into the city too often. We usually take the train. But I was like, I'm feeling confident. It'll save us some time because it like is quicker to drive than to take the train. Um, yeah. So a PPA ticket writer was like walking down the street, and I go, hey, where's my car? Hey,
Hey,
hey.
girl.
And he was like, oh, it got towed. And I was like, great.
Oh
Lovely.
my gosh.
Thank you. And so then I had to call an Uber to go to the tow lot. And as I was standing there, because I said there was a car in the spot that I got towed from, while I was standing there, he just wrote a little ticket. He just put it in the windshield of the car that was there. And as I was waiting for my Uber, before my Uber even arrived, a tow truck was there to take it away. So my car, I'm guessing, did not even sit there for like 10 minutes after we arrived. It was out of there.
Oh, the parking authority was busy that day.
Oh, it was vicious. It was vicious.
Oh my
But
gosh.
we did we did get the car back. There was a little drama, but we got the car back.
Okay, good.
And there were even more details that I don't even need to get into, but let's just say I'm never driving into the city ever again.
No.
I'm taking the train. I'm a public transportation girly.
Oh yeah.
Okay?
Oh my gosh. Wow. So, a coworker of mine was literally just telling a story of a friend that went on a date in Philly, drove her car there. They're walking for hours getting ice cream, like shooting having a great time. They were in South Philly, and the same thing happened to them, but it was later in the night, so they were like at the tow lot till like 3 in the morning trying to get their car back. Philly
Gosh.
is vicious. Like they're not right for that. They know they're not.
No.
Where are
No.
you supposed to
And
park?
shout out to the little old man who my husband had to come to the lot is the bottom line.
Uh oh.
Um and it had to do with like registration and both of our names are on the car, whatever. But so I couldn't get the car back by myself. As Tim is going, my husband, his name is Tim, but he's going to get the car because there's only one person allowed on the lot at once. The little old man who like operates the gate is standing there and he's like, "So what happened?" And I just told him what happened and he goes, "That's a shame. That's a shame." He just keeps going, "That's a shame." And I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you so much for validating my experience and making me not feel stupid."
Something tells me that they hired that man for that job on purpose.
Yeah,
To
to make people feel a little bit better as
yes,
their cars, getting brought back to them so they don't, aren't standing there in shame and then get in their car and like drive away.
yes, yes. You kind of feel a little bad. You're like, oh, this is an old man. This is doing his job.
He's just doing his job. He's waddling over the gate. He's hitting the button. He's like, one person at a time. Come in. And then he's like, just tell me your life story. It's okay.
Becomes
And then
therapy
he was
after that.
complimenting my car. He was complimenting my car. It was my grandma's car. True story. It used to be my grandma's car. So the car pulls up and he's like, "That's a nice car." I'm like, "Of course you think it's a nice car."
I love it. I love that it's your grandma's car. And you talked about last episode how much of a
Literally.
grandma you are.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my
I
gosh.
drive a full on Mercury Sable grandma mobile. Okay, you guys? I'm out there in the boat driving to South Philly to get my little rook piercing.
The coolest grandma you've ever seen.
Exactly. Don't mind if I do. Hair over the shoulder.
Oh my goodness, that was eventful.
So I just kicked off the weekend, you know.
Yeah. I am still getting back into the swing of things after my trip from San Diego. So,
Yeah.
um I'm just figuring out how to do what I need to do, which is my daily walks, getting back into that, going back to work, sad face. Um
You were
and
living that Cali life, you know?
oh,
West
oh my
Coast.
gosh. Yes, different time zone. I wake up. So I was waking up a couple times at like 10 here because that's 7 a.m. And I thought I was doing something good. I wake up, feel fresh, and I'm like, ooh, I'm like, damn, it's 10 o'clock. No time. Gotta rush, gotta hurry up. So
Yeah, that little time difference will get you.
we'll get to you. Yeah, yeah. But I'm still coming off the high of that trip, and it was a nice work trip. So I'm still doing work where I have to like do student evaluations, things like that. So I can kind of get into my trip actually. People don't even know what else I
I was
do.
about to say, I want to hear what you taught. I mean, I've heard about your trip to England. I've heard about a couple past years you've been doing this. And I always love to hear your stories and anecdotes and what you're teaching and what these youngins are learning, you know,
Because
the wisdom that you can impart on them.
these kids are the future, you know. They give me hope in humanity each year because I lose it inch by inch, but in this 1 week of time, like the future just seems so bright. That's why I keep going back. I can't stop. It gives me hope. Um,
Well, good. I would hope it would be that, not the opposite.
Not the opposite. um, but so I will say, a lot of people don't know this about me, that for almost the last decade ish, I think the first time I did it, I was 20. Um, I have been going to this program. Um, well, I've more, excuse me, I'm trying to get my thoughts together because this is a lot to talk about. Every time I talk about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm an old lady.
There's so much to
Um,
say.
so much to say. So, for the past decade, I've been doing programs for high schoolers ages 14 to 18 that focus on entrepreneurship, leadership, and financial literacy. Um, More recently, within the last 5 years, the program itself has been called Launch Generation because it was created by the woman I was doing it with for so long, and it was acquired by a financial firm. So it became a bigger thing. Um, so what's really cool about this camp, there's no other camp like this, is for about 8, 7 days, we have a group of international students come to this camp. Some kids are like legacies of the financial firm itself. Some kids are on scholarship. Some kids we've never heard of or met before. So it's just amazing seeing these kids come from all walks of life, ready to learn about entrepreneurship. I started doing it because uh, I owned my own store. I started my own magazine, things like that. So I was able to start teaching there because I had a lot of experience in entrepreneurship specifically. And I started growing my social media career. So when I go to this camp and I'm a part of the staff, I specifically teach branding, marketing, and PR. Disclosure, I do not have a degree in marketing. I do have a degree in marketing. But I teach it based on my experience. And what I love about it as well is I take the time now to like learn more myself. So when I go to the camp, I can teach kids like the current verbiage and just like what's going on in media today and things like that. So
Yeah,
I'm learning
staying up to
just as
date.
much. Yeah, I'm learning just as much as the kids, which is really awesome. Um, so, previous years, we've gone to Oxford, we've done Cambridge, it's been at Boston University. It was supposed to be at Seattle, a college in Seattle. I can't remember exactly what it was, but then COVID hit. Um, Darn that COVID. And then messing
It's
up
the
everything.
worst. Didn't it?
um, Messed up everything. Uh, But this year it was at San Diego University, which I have never been to San Diego. I've never been on this college campus, and it was stunning. Stunning. It was
I'm
gorgeous.
sure.
Um, it was beautiful weather the entire week we were there, and the campus is like old Spanish style, um, with like that beautiful tile roofing, and everything is that light tan like deco color, and you can see the mountains and there's palm trees. It's like a vacation. I feel like I was on vacation. I'd wake up and I'd be like, this is my job, this is insane. I can't believe it. um but the camp itself gets really intense because not only are we teaching them all this content, by the end of the camp, the kids have to present and pitch a business idea that they come up with from the content that they learned. So it's like we have kids having classes and sessions and activities all day. The kids are exhausted, but they're also excited because they're meeting new people. So of course they're like staying up all night. And then they get to class in the morning, they're falling asleep in the chair, and we're like, hello? And they're like, oh, sorry, we're up till 3. We're just talking. We're like, why aren't you guys going to bed? Go to bed.
These kids.
But we just love seeing how like excited they get. The businesses they come up with blow my mind. They're so talented, so amazing. And because I am a teacher through this program, I have to like give them evaluations and things like that by the end of it. So that's what I've been working on since I've been back. And that's why I'm still like catching up with everything because the job itself is still like going on. And I hope one day that the program scales and I'm able to do it a lot more because I would love to do that. I would love that to be more of a full-time job situation. And this is also my shameless plug to it too. If you're listening and you're a high schooler, and you're looking for a little summer enrichment activity, you should one hit me up. You can DM me or like leave a comment or something. Be like, hey, I heard you talk about that camp. I want to learn more. I will send you all the information about it. Please hit me up. I would love for more campers to be a part of it. So it's incredible.
I did participate in those little polls you posted on Instagram stories. You were like, please answer these polls from us students. And I was like, yes, let me
Thank
get
you.
right to it.
Thank you so much for doing that because um, if anyone is listening has ever started a business, you know how important it is to do like market research and you're putting your feelers out for if people would even want something that you're creating or things like that. So the kids were learning market research in real time. So we also do this funny thing where kids own what's called social currency, where in real life, social currency are the connections you make and things like that when you're networking and such. But we used it as a tactic where we print fake money with our teacher faces on it. And every time they like
Stop.
answer a question or they arrive to class on time or they go the extra mile for something, they earn social currency. So it's like a physical representation of what it means to um, have a social network. So it kind of puts it in their mind like, oh, like the more I talk, the more I get to know people, like that, like the more social currency I get, so puts them in that mind frame. So when it came to the market research, the other counselors and teachers were telling them, Niara has quite a large following on social media. You should pay her some social currency to post your stuff on her social media. So the kids were like, okay, how much you got? How much you got? And they just started throwing these dollars at me. I was like, throw them at me. Pay it up, pay it up.
So they kind of like made a little brand deal there with you.
They did. So it was like a real life using an influencer. Like they're learning these
Oh my
skills in real
gosh.
time, which is really incredible. And it gets them so excited because it clicks. You see it click when these things start working. So when so many people started answering their poll and they were getting all this feedback, they were getting so excited. People would really try my business, or like the statistics show that this is something that will improve people's lives, and so like it was a hit during their presentation. They loved it. So
Aw.
thank you for participating. And thank you to anybody who follows me on social who participated. The kids appreciated it so much. It really made them excited to see how many people answered. Like they were thrilled. It was
I
incredible.
do it all for the kids.
All for the
I just do it all for the kids.
just let the kids. Just let the kids.
Your grandma will answer your Instagram poll
Grandma
anytime.
just love the kids. She do it for the kids. Yes.
That's what I say every day. That's how I live my life.
Oh my
Oh no.
gosh, yes. But that's a little bit of my trip, a little history of what I do. But yeah, that's the only trip I've really been on this year so far because I got married and all that stuff like that. So we were like not really spending money on doing much else. So it was nice to have a change of scene. It was nice to do something different than my retail job, which is what I do every day. And it just puts me in a whole different mind space and gets me really excited about things. So it motivates me, like lights a fire under me. I get back to work. I was at work being having the best attitude and morale. Everybody was like, "Oh, okay, yes." I was talking to every customer coming in. They gave me a bad attitude. I'd be like, "Yeah." I was just like, I was on it. I was feeling so good.
Sometimes you gotta shake up the routine a little bit,
Yeah,
to relight your fire, refund your spark.
yeah,
And I love how that's something that every year you come back and you just rave about, the whole experience. It's great to have a community like that.
yes, yes. I can't agree more. I can't. speak any like I can't sing the praises of this program any more than I already do. Um, I just truly wish more people knew about it so that their kids or a niece or nephew or whatever could have the opportunity to do this camp because I do think that it's fantastic. A little
Hey, if I
biased.
was in high school, I'd do it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I think it's great.
I feel like that would be so fun.
As an adult,
As an adult,
learning
I want to do it.
because, and I'm gonna get into it a little bit more just real quick because they talk about credit, they talk about investing, they talk about budgeting, they talk about goal setting, things like all things that you need, but it's just like crash courses on them. And I remember telling the director of the program, I was like, I learned about how to get good credit from teaching at this program. I didn't have my first credit card till I was
No
29.
one tells you that stuff.
Nobody teaches you these things. So the program, like seeing the kids learn this stuff, I was like, oh, I need to know this stuff. Like, this is important for me. And I finally got to like really learn about investing this year. So now I can open up an investment portfolio and start investing. It's never too late to start, guys. I always thought that, oh, I'm too old
I'll
now.
say,
Like,
you're gonna need to tell me some of the tea regarding that because I've been seeing a couple of like those investing accounts on Instagram,
mm-hmm.
and again, maybe I'm just getting old, but I'm like, I should really look into like how to invest and things like that. Not that I have like loads of money to invest,
No,
but
but that's also what I'm learning. Like, it doesn't take a lot. Just they showed like putting $20 into one investment account and what it could become in 40 years. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I need to get on this. Because imagine by the time
if
you
we have
reach,
any hope of retirement, we gotta, you know,
right, or at least have just a little something for ourselves in the future, just to go on a big trip or do something. I don't know. It's a little extra pocket money to have. So it's important. It's important. We got to do it.
yeah, I'm working on becoming more financially savvy as we're trying to buy a house at some point. As I know that's a goal for you as well. I
Yes.
mean, really, if you're a millennial out there and you don't own a home, I'm sure that is at the top of your goal list. But I'd like to, within the next decade, be a homeowner. That would be really, really lovely.
Yes.
And right now we're doing a pretty good job. We're saving and we're putting away a little chunk in a little high yield savings every month.
Good.
But we got to keep plugging away towards that goal. But then this weekend, like I said, put a nice dent in it. So in what I was gonna put in my savings account. Thanks, PPA. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. You freaking
Love ya. Thanks so much.
having a great day until then.
Hi, guys. It is Jess checking in mid episode. Hope you've been enjoying. I know we're having an awesome time just chatting away. Now would be a really great time to take a break, get a drink of water, and follow us on all of our Plan With Us Pod social media platforms. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time a new episode comes out. We also post a ton of content over on our Instagram, and we'll always let you know when new episodes come out over there. And you can find our favorite clips from all of our episodes over on TikTok, which is always a fun time. You can find us on all platforms at Plan With Us Pod. Leaving a review on your favorite podcast listening platform is also a huge, huge way to help us grow our community. So we appreciate every single review that is left, and we appreciate every single one of you. So without further ado, let's get back into the episode.
Other than this upcoming weekend, I'm having a little girls' trip with some of my oldest friends from my hometown. We're all celebrating the fact that all of us are 30. We were waiting for the baby to turn 30. And now that everyone's 30, we're going on a little like lake weekend trip. And I'm super excited just to like take some time to be with them and recharge a little bit. It's going to be really fun. But other than that, I will be sat at home all August. Probably working on the podcast and working on closing Jessitrak.
Oh my
That
gosh.
sets here.
Okay, so we have a lot to
I know.
unpack right here. You just mentioned like
I
five
know.
things. So
There's a lot going on.
first, I think that trip sounds so cute. I
It's going to
love
be fun.
the friendship that you have with your childhood friends. I think that is it's such a beautiful thing to watch and see how you guys stay connected and how you guys are always including each other on stuff. Like I think that's so cute. But
We really make an effort. Like
yeah,
we try every month to get together once intentionally, because when you're an adult, and some people have children now in the group, and we all have, jobs, families, and we're trying to plan this trip for like the beginning of the summer, and here we are in August, at least it's happening.
okay,
But I do think it's an important thing to note, to carve out time to hang out with people.
definitely.
I know it's tough to organize schedules. We got to do the same thing, you and me.
Yes, yes. I had literally just put up a post on my Instagram story because that's something I've always been working on, and I always feel very like it sounds so silly, but I feel weird sometimes asking people to hang out because some of my friends also have kids. I don't live in the same state as some people like you or things like that. I don't have a lot of friends, but the few that I have, it's just very hard to coordinate. And I don't drive. We could dive into that another day, but I have my license, but driving is just very scary for me. But so it's just like hard to coordinate because I can't really get myself somewhere by myself and asking somebody to come pick me up or like do all this stuff. It becomes like this whole thing. I probably think way too much about it, obviously.
I was about to say, girl, I would come over. It's not that big of a deal.
I know,
I would
I
come
know.
over anytime.
My husband was
It
literally
is
telling
not an
me,
inconvenience to hang out with you. Okay?
like, I
It is a
appreciate that.
joy to hang out with you.
Thank you.
I'd love to
um,
do it more.
yes, we have to do it more. We do. But that is one of my goals this year was to hang out with people more, even if that meant meeting new people or finding spaces that I can go to just like be around other people or things like that. So something I'm still working on, which I'll be constantly working on that. I feel like, but I wanted to ask you because you are like the weekend getaway girly queen.
I love a
Okay,
weekend getaway.
you love it. You are great at them. How do you plan like a good weekend getaway? Like what is the thought process? How do you pick the place? How do you know where you want to go? What's the thought process? Like narrow it down. Cuz I want to get
There's
better
a
at
lot of
this.
different elements. Yes, me and my husband really love the weekend getaway. We've only ever taken 1 week-long vacation together in the 7 years we were together, and that was to Disney World, and that was when he proposed. So that was a special occasion. Um, and we're actually going back to Disney in the fall, so we'll have our second week-long vacation. That's another reason why your girl needs to save some money in August, because there's some cute Disney Halloween merch that I'm gonna need to buy.
Oh yes.
But we're both Disney people, okay? I don't want to hear it.
That could be a whole trip itself. I mean a
I
whole
don't want to
episode.
hear it.
I love Disney World. Can't even talk about it. Can't even.
No, we're just
That's a,
gonna we gotta move on,
yeah.
or
Can't.
else we'll be talking about it all day. But yes, so busy schedules, busy lives, but we do really love a little weekend getaway. How we choose the location. I honestly have like a running list in my phone of like little weekend getaway places that I'd love to go to. Like, let me pull this up because I literally have a little note that I've been like, it's literally called Getaways. Oh, that's really bright. And let's see. So, getaways we have gone to Shenandoah, Virginia, which we just did in May, Washington, D.C., which we did in March, um, Williamsburg, Virginia, which we did. That was actually, no, that was a week long. I absolutely lied. We did do another week-long vacation. That was our mini moon after we got married. But that was with the help of Tim's dad and a timeshare and a very last-minute plan. Portland, Maine. We did that the August after we got married, which was one of my favorite trips of all time. We were literally there from Thursday to Sunday, and we still talk about that trip like we were there for 2 weeks.
Oh my
Like, we
gosh.
got so much done. But some of the places I have on here that I'd love to go to in the future, manifesting right now, Annapolis, Maryland has been on the top of my list for a long time. Asheville, North Carolina, the Outer Banks, Cape Cod, Chincoteague, Virginia, Bar Harbor, Maine, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee has also been on the list for a long time. Just Hershey, PA. But yeah, I try to think of, well, I don't know. Whenever I like see an Instagram of like a cute place or I hear of something that, I think would be fun to do, I usually will like write it down on my little list. And then I'm very intentional with taking time for myself, as we discussed a little bit last time with like the morning. I'm a big believer in your morning ritual, your evening routine, like taking time to rest, taking time to buckle down and, be productive. So I do think I am naturally good at balancing that, which I know doesn't come naturally to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think you need at least one little weekend getaway a year, which I feel like most people can make happen. Just a weekend. But I don't know. Usually it all like comes together pretty naturally when it comes to like timing and location. I don't really choose those things. I like if there's an opportunity to do it, I'm just like, you know what? Let's do it. Like when we went to Maine, I'm like, these aren't good tips at all. But when we went to Maine, I don't know. I was just like, this is like one of the last free weekends that we had over the summer. Like, we just need to go somewhere, and we've been wanting to go to Maine forever. So I was like, you know what? It's only a 6.5 hour drive. Like, let's just get an Airbnb and go. And that's essentially what we did.
Wow. I think that,
But
like, also because it's very hard for Derek and I to do things like that because of how, we work in retail. In retail, you need to work on the weekends. But then when we have our days off, they're either not matching up ever, or we have one day. And usually our days off are Wednesdays. So then like when we have that time together, then it's hard to like just spend it together because we gotta go grocery shopping, we gotta do this or that. So our week gets bogged down a lot. And we had this discussion like a week or so ago. It's like we don't spend a lot of intentional time together like we want to. We live together, which is great, but we don't get to plan time together. It's incredibly challenging. And even with, every job gives you PTO or things like that, just the dynamics of our job do not allow us like to really plan that time. So I'm always cracking up because I go on your Instagram and I'm like, Derek, she's on a trip again, damn it. When are we going somewhere?
people think I travel all the time, but I really, I don't know. Summer is definitely my time to, travel here, there, and everywhere. And I'm very, very privileged in that my job is slower in the summertime,
Yeah.
just with the nature of, the industry that I work in.
Mm-hmm.
And I have more time to be flexible. And then sort of throughout any other time of the year, I'm at home. Unless it's a full-on vacation that I've planned with like my family or something that's very intentional with friends. Like we've been planning to go back to Disney literally since we left in 2021.
Right.
So that was like years in the making. This trip that I'm going on this weekend, we literally have been planning, not like fully planning, but we knew that we wanted to do it. Really since we all turned 29. We're like, when we turn 30, we need to get away for the weekend and just like do something. And it doesn't have to be the weekend. I say weekend as in like a couple of days at a time.
Right.
Say, you and Derek, your schedules align and you like have the opportunity to, have Tuesday through Thursday off. Just book a little Airbnb. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be anything super expensive because that's the other thing. I am frugal when I travel. I am not spending like money high and low. I am finding a deal. Okay, I'm using a Groupon. I'm getting a coupon. Grandma loves a coupon. And yeah, I'm a firm believer that you can make like any location fun. Like when we went to Williamsburg, we surprised a lot of people because, like I said, that was like a very last minute saying, they're like, "Where are you going on your honeymoon?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't have any money. I just planned a wedding. I'm tired of planning things.
Stop asking me to plan
I'm tired
stuff.
of this, Grandpa.
That's
I'm
too
tired of this,
damn
Grandpa. Keep
bad.
going. Let's go. That's fun." And yeah, it sort of just came up that I'm very fortunate that Tim's dad was like, "I have a timeshare that you guys could use. It's in Williamsburg, Virginia." And we were like, no idea what we're going to do down there, but okay. And we had the best week. We went to Busch Gardens. We went to some really fun restaurants. We went to some really fun museums, and just sort of like bounced around town. And I also think it's all about like the company you keep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sure you and Derek are the same way. Me and Tim, and this is, proof that you picked the correct partner. We don't have to be doing anything. We're having fun.
Right, right.
Like we're in bed at night giggling.
Yes.
I'm like, no, you shut your eyes, go to sleep. And we're over there like giggling like little school children. Yeah. So as long as you have, good company around you, it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't have to be some like lavish European adventure or going across the country in like this exotic location.
Yeah.
Even though those trips are lovely every once in a while,
Right.
I personally have not really gone on many of them, but that is a goal for the future.
Yeah.
So I'll take what I can get. I'll take my little weekend trips. That's why I go on as many as I can.
That is truly a goal of mine, is to, like, not everything has to be a big hoopla either for it to be fun. And I guess like I'm gonna start doing it because I didn't even think to do that. Like, oh, seeing somebody post something, you're like, oh, that looks fun. Maybe we could do that, and let's just jotting it down and remembering it for a time when you do have time. So like, hey, remember that place I saw? Like, let's book a little stay or something like that. I do think I should start like getting into that because I always think of like a vacation, and I'm always thinking like, where could we go? With the possibility, oh, we need at least
This is the only
$2,000.
vacation that we will have in the next 4 years.
Exactly.
I guess, yeah, we could get to the whole conversation of like scarcity versus abundance sort of like mindsets, but I guess that's sort of how I feel about it. It's like, why not?
Yeah, that's so
Why
important.
not do it? And if I have the means and the time to do it, wonderful. I'm very grateful and very happy and blessed that I'm able to do that because not everyone has the opportunity to.
Right.
And there are times when I don't have the opportunity to.
Mhm.
So I'll take it when I can, and when I can't, I'll just enjoy watching my friends go on their little trips. Like I went to San Diego, I'm like, that looks so lovely. Like I like palm trees.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah. I did treat it, because I don't travel often. I was like, this is almost like a vacation to me. Like, this is my time to just be out and doing something. When I came back, I was like looking at my husband. I was like, I gotta get you out of this house, boy. We gotta go somewhere. Like, we need a change of scene. And he agreed. So
I also feel like I've been that way forever, in the sense of like I grew up in a very small town, and when I was an angsty teenager, I hated that small town, and I was like, I want to get as far away as I can. So I moved to the big city, which was really like a 45-minute drive away. It really was not that far at all. But little 18-year-old Jess thought she was just like taking on the world, and she was. Okay, props to her.
She was doing it.
So I don't know. I've always sort of had that travel bug in me, just to, I think it's important to go out and have new experiences.
Oh, absolutely.
And exactly like we were saying, sort of like it helps regenerate passion for honestly being at home. I'm also a huge homebody at the same time.
Right.
Like I love my creature comforts. And Tim also jokes all the time that if we do go on a vacation for more than like 5 days, we always want to come back home desperately.
Yeah.
Like, I went on a work trip right before you went on your work trip. So we were busy
Mm-hmm.
gals in July, but I was in Washington, D.C. for 5 days. And by day 5, I was like, I just want my bed. I just want my bed, and I want my cats, and I want my husband, and I want to watch Game of Thrones with him, and I want to, have a sweet little treat and just rot.
Exactly. No, I totally get it. It got to around day 7. I was there for 10 days. So it did get to around day
A
7.
long time.
I called my husband and I was like, I'm ready to come home. I'm
Really?
ready to, these kids are getting on my nerves. I can't, I'm just ready to come home. How are you doing, baby? Like, what's going on? Yeah, but I totally get you. It does like
Um,
make you grateful and appreciate what you got. As also like the fact that you have a lovely home to go back to and a comfortable bed and a loving partner you want to see and things like that. But yeah,
you know,
here's to more experiences in life.
my
Water,
experiences.
cheers.
But they say you shouldn't cheers with
Uh,
water, but we're going to anyway. So
oh, no bad luck.
we take the cheers back,
Take it back.
and anytime we cheers is a good time. Are you kidding
That's what
me?
I was.
Life's too short not to cheers with water.
Yeah. Um, but
I should keep a tally of like how many times I say life's too short in this podcast.
yeah, you probably
It's gonna become like my new slogan.
because you have to live life to the fullest. You have to. Life is too short to not have these kinds of experiences. Um,
Mm,
but you had mentioned a couple other things, so I want to talk about the trips. But then,
I really laid it all on you at once.
yes, that's why I was like, oh. Oh, Jessitrak. I think
Jessitrak.
this might be our last topic of the session, but I think it is important to let the girls know what Jessitrak
Letting the girls know.
is and what's going on.
By the time this episode comes out, Jessitrak will already be no longer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have been following me or following Niara, because she is a huge Jessitrak ambassador as well. Jessitrak is my small business that I have been running for the past. The funny thing is, I don't remember the start date.
Yeah.
But I basically started it as soon as I graduated college for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I was doing it for about 8 years. And I came to the very tough decision at the beginning of the summer to close down that business or really just stop selling the products that I was selling. It originally started as a strictly stationery business as an illustrator and graphic designer. I was designing cards and little knickknacks and selling them at like craft fairs and things like that. And then it sort of transformed into a very simple self care focused product line. So I started to make candles over COVID and I started to make like little room sprays, and those really took off. And yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it's when I turned 30, but I was just like, life's too short, I there's so many projects and things that I want to do. And we were already in talk of doing this podcast. And honestly, that was sort of the cherry on top of the sundae of like, here's all the reasons why you should try to pursue these things and, let go of things that aren't necessarily serving you anymore. Because I love Jessitrak with all of my heart. And I think it will always have a place in my heart. And I'll always have the passion to talk about simple self-care, which is exactly what I did
Right.
Through that brand. But now I can talk about those things here. And now I can talk about those things and other opportunities in my life. And I sort of had been thinking for a while that it might be time to trickle on and try something new because I was having so many ideas. Like, every single day, I would have so many notes of like, this is something I want to try, and this is something that I want to make, and I want to work on this with you, and I want to work on this with you. And I mean, I know there's the phrase that like Beyonce has 24 hours in the day, and so do you, but Beyonce has like a lot of people helping her.
Yes. People forget
And
to
I
mention
am
that part.
only one person.
Yes.
And there are things that I'd love to personally develop about myself and things that I'd love to develop in my relationships with my husband and my friends and my family. And like I said, we want to own a home, and that could be a whole process in itself.
Yeah.
We'd love to buy the home that we're renting and like renovate it and things like that. But that's all very out in the ether. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It was just like what something had to give. And even though I really didn't want it to be Jessitrak, there was just something in my gut that was just like, let it go. It was a lovely, lovely thing to work on and to experience, and everything honestly sort of lined up really well. Um, I'm actually officially announcing it tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
So I will be having my closing sale all through the month of August. And then September 1st, I will be shutting the doors on my little online website, my little online shop. And the Jessitrak Instagram might like hang out for a little bit longer just in case people are looking for it and they can find it and realize that we have closed.
Right,
Or
right,
I
right.
have closed. I've always said we. It's just been me working on this the entire time. Um,
Have you ever done the video where it's like, meet the team, the
mhm.
CEO,
Oh,
the
I've wanted to.
photographer, the
Mhm.
designer?
It's me. Everywhere you look, everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. Yes, that was you.
Yeah, but it just sort of everything lined up really well. I do have like a limited amount of inventory that I feel like it will still allow people to, get their hands on their favorite products.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, I was sort of at a crossroads of like I could make more stuff or I could sort of slowly start to dissolve it. And as soon as I made the decision, and my husband was the first person I told, you were the second person that I told, but as soon as the words came out of my mouth, I just felt this like relief. I just felt like this weight lift off my chest. And I was like, all right, this is the right decision, you
Right.
know?
Mhm.
And of course, his first question was, are you feeling okay? Like, are you mentally insane? Are you going through something? We can talk about this because I was doing Jessitrak longer than we've been together. And it's a huge part of my identity. But I guess I'm sort of ready to let that part be, a past version of myself and to look back on it fondly. And I'm also not saying that I'll never make products ever again because I'm assuming kind of does at some point. It's going to have, maybe,
Maybe.
maybe we can make some things. I'm just saying that my days of, shipping out orders and things is probably not over. Um, but in order for things like that to happen, you need to make space for those opportunities to happen.
Right.
So
And that is,
you're closing that chapter.
yeah, that's probably one of the hardest things for people to learn. Even when you told me, I was like, oh, did something happen? Like, are we okay?
What's going on? Like, I promise I'm happy about it. I promise I'm good.
Because Jessitrak truly was a big part of your life, and the people around you became a part of their lives because we understood it as being a part of you. And we were just excited to see what you were doing and your craft shows and selling new products or coming up with new things. I think I have a notebook like right here. I have
That's it. I
my
always have a
I have a
notepad on
note.
me.
I would take my notes off of it. People all my business. But so cute,
These are little
so
notepads
adorable.
that I designed.
Truly love them. Great quality. And it is kind of crazy how it all aligned because we started doing Plan With Us and things were growing. Had an event, all this stuff. And then when you said it, I was like, oh, okay, that's like kind of scary because this is her thing. But also like I could see you making space for new things. And I felt like that was so powerful in that moment to even the point where I wasn't like, oh my God, like you're doing your Jessitrak. I was just like, wow, like I see her, like this is a very mature decision that she's making, and she's, like she's at peace with it and stuff. And I had me thinking about, like, I'm like, what do I need to get rid of? Well,
Oh, I thought about it for a
she
long
looks
time.
peaceful.
I thought about it for a long time. Um, like, I'm not joking, like, more than a year, for sure. But I think that's a struggle for any small business owner, because especially over the past, I'm going to say year or so, I've seen so many small businesses close down, and some of them are for reasons that are just like, I'm done with this. Like, I can't do it anymore. And but most of them are for reasons that feel very similar to mine, and that they're just like ready to move on to another project, another phase of life. Like, because if life is going to do one thing, it's going to change.
Oh, yeah.
It's always developing, and, our passions are changing, our bodies are changing, our relationships are changing, our lives are just, if life is going to do one thing, it's not remain the same. So, yeah, Jessitrak really served 20-year-old Jess very well. And I love thinking back on that time. 30-year-old Jess is going to do some other things and see how that unfolds.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very excited. But this was the part that I have been dreading the whole time, which is actually telling the world that it will be closing. But I know that, the community that I've fostered will understand where I'm coming from, exactly how you understand where I'm coming from. And yeah, I'm excited to see what sort of lessons I can learn from it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. It was the same feeling when my family closed their shop, and thinking that that was going to be something I did for the rest of my life. But then being at peace with that decision, but then taking all the skills and things that you learned from doing that, and seeing like, oh, if I had never done this, I wouldn't be able to do this, this, and this. And I think that also brings me back to like me teaching at this camp and things like that. I wouldn't be able to teach at this camp if I never had these entrepreneurial endeavors that taught me these skills that maybe school or things like that didn't teach me, but life taught me. And I had to put myself in these situations to learn. So who knows the skills from Jessitrak and how it's going to change your future and what positions that's going to put you in the future, even for this or something like that. But I'm very excited to see what's going on, because again, life is too short. So we gotta
Life is too
embrace
short.
change. Yeah.
It comes a point where I love those moments in life where it's like literally smacking you in the face, like, this is what you should do, this what, and then we're just like, no, I don't want to do that. And then it gets to a point where it's like, this is clearly, like, you cannot escape that this is what you're supposed to do. And then you're like, okay, fine. And then when you do it, you feel so much better.
Right.
And you're like, what was I doing? Like, what have I been messing around for? Well, thankfully, it really wasn't that painful of a decision.
Okay.
It was more painful to tell others about it. Because there's a little bit of like shame in that it can look like a failure to some people, but really at the end of the day, if you have your peace with it and you know the reasons for doing it, and the people closest to you know the reasons for doing it. Like if I talk to my husband or I talk to you and you're like, you shouldn't do that, I would probably reconsider.
Right.
But since everyone around me was like, I absolutely see where you're coming from, I'm excited for the next chapter, then it's reassuring that you're not messing up. And it's a victory, not a defeat.
Right. Which is probably something you should put in your proud of me jar. Which sounds kind of like contradicting, but closing Jessitrak is still a victory because of all you've accomplished and done, and how you were able to leave that chapter with grace for yourself and peace. So you should definitely put that in your proud of me jar.
I should. I gotta make some notes after this that I gotta put in the proud of me jar. Reflect on the summer.
Yeah.
A lot of reflecting.
Oh my gosh. Well, this was such a fun little chit chat.
This was such a fun chit chat. We covered a lot.
We'll see how we break this down in
We
the
were
show
like,
notes.
yeah. I mean, if you were listening up to this point, thank you.
Thanks for just chatting with us because we just needed to catch
we
up.
did say that we were going to become friends with all y'all, and we really meant it because we literally just like FaceTimed for an hour and recorded it, and you guys are listening. And if you have anything to, add, any relatable stories, if anything that we were talking about really struck a note with you, or if you've gotten your car towed in South Philly before, feel free to leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube. Or I said this last time, I don't know if you can leave comments in actual podcasts.
We still have to look
but
that up, but on
you can comment on like our Instagram posts.
yes, yeah, do that. And actually, I just thought of this. Maybe when it comes to like our chit chatty episodes where we're rambling for hours, if you listen to the whole thing, if you listen to it this far, maybe I'll do a little giveaway if you leave a review.
Oh wow! Okay, she did not discuss this with me, you
No, I
guys.
just thought of
This
it.
is off the cuff.
Yeah, but if you listen to it this far and you enjoyed this
How
conversation,
generous of you!
thank you for sticking through this with us, and getting to know about some of our chaos. But if you listen this far, if you leave us a little review, you'll be put in for a giveaway. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that's what I'll do. I have a lot of fun goodies to give away, so I think that's what we'll do.
Oh yes, we gotta raid the PR.
The PR closet. It's becoming a closet, not a shelf. It's becoming
I love that for
a
you.
closet. So I gotta get some stuff away. Yeah.
And we gotta share with the girlies.
Yes, I would love to share a little something.
Maybe we could throw some Jessitrak products in there.
That'd be cute. Let's do it.
That would be so cute.
It should be like a little secret when the episode comes out, because it's like if you really listened,
you'll know.
You'll know.
Because this is coming together in real time.
Yeah. I like that.
So I'll have to put some products aside specifically for the giveaway. Yeah. I think that would be so
That'd
cute.
That'd be so cute.
Some archival Jessitrak goodies.
Oh my gosh, that'd be such a fun little box. Well, all right, girlies. All right, Jess.
Friends. My girl. I hope y'all want to tune in next week when we probably won't be as chaotic.
Yeah.
No guarantee. You kind of know what you signed up for.
We'll have like a topic, We'll have questions that we go through. It'll be a little more organized. This was just a catch up girl talk week, and we'll do a couple.
We just had to
a couple episodes like this every now and then. I think it's cute.
Give us a follow on our socials. Make sure you're following on your favorite podcast platforms that you know when we drop new episodes. And we will talk to you all soon. Have a lovely evening, or day, or morning, or whatever time it is.
Wherever you are. Bye.
Bye.